Hey guys, ShawneeBaby2 Gaming here. We're going to be talking about the Greatsword skill set and trait set. Now, keep in mind that this really depends on how you play World vs. World 2. If you're running in a Zerg, then a lot of times a lot of the stuff's not going to work quite as well because as a melee player, hopping right into a Zerg full of guys is just going to get you killed. But if you ever come across, a handful of people, or if you can pick a person or two off, I promise you that this build will do work for you. And even still in those big Zerg raids, I find myself jumping into huddles and clearing somebody and finding a way out. But anyway, let's go ahead and start looking at this stuff. Okay, first things first, your utility skills. You have three different choices here. You could pick your basic healing, gives you the maximum amount, your healing signet, and then you also have your mending. The healing surge is really just your your heal you get in the beginning. Beyond that, I don't really see it as necessary. This healing signet I think is good for PvE sometimes. If you're having those long fights, the regeneration can help you a lot. But in World vs. World or PvP, it's really not all that great. Healing yourself in two conditions is huge. You're constantly getting picked up conditions, slows, stuns, bleeds, poisons, whatever. Healing yourself plus the conditions is going to make a big difference. Bull's charge I think is awesome. First thing I do when I see somebody alone or even with somebody is I will pick them off. I'll throw in my Bull's charge, and then immediately they're down on the ground, throw 100 blades, and by the time they're getting up, they're usually almost dead. Throw a whirling wind at them afterwards, and then cripple them if they're trying to get away. By this point, they're usually dead unless it's a guardian or something. Cripple them, rush in on them, and right into the water, of course, and then they should be about dead. If they're not, then, well, just repeat, rinse and repeat. My next ability is Endure Pain. Take no damage from attacks. Let's just pretend that same situation happened. You Bull charged in, you 100 blades, you whirlwind attacked. Maybe you killed him, but his friend shows up, and he's a thief, and he's laying up damage for you. That's when you pop your Endure Pain. You turn around, and you hit him with 100 blades too. This one's huge. Endure Pain will make or break a fight. If you're fighting a warrior just as good as you are, and you got Endure Pain and he doesn't, you pop it when you guys both 100 blades each other. GG, game over. Last but not least, that's going to be Fear Me. This ability is really huge. I really recommend it. A lot of people take this ability unnoticed. It can be used in a multitude of ways. There's the most obvious reason. Let's say we get into that situation again. You fight the two guys. You down the first. You Endure Pain. You kill the second. And then two more people jump in. And it's really your escape at that point. You pop your fear. They're pretty much running away. You pop your whirlwind. You try and get away. And hopefully you do. But that's just one of the many ways it can be used too. Let's say I'm in a battle with a guy and we're in a corner like this. I pop my fear. And all of a sudden he's running over here. And he's sucking the wall. Then you just 100 blades him the whole time he's running into the wall. Great ability that way. Now last but certainly not least is your ultimate. As a Norn, I got a few different options here. Really, the battle standard, you can use this if you got a big Zerg going on and it helps the whole party. You could be a good teammate. That's pretty awesome. It's got a huge cooldown. If you're in a small party or if you're picking off people, I definitely wouldn't grab it. Really, the one to have is the Signet of Rage. The 20% crit chance, the might, and the swiftness is going to be huge in a fight. Swiftness helps a lot, especially running around. Might and Fury, the crit chance I'm already at, if you look here, 47%. You add another 20% to that, you're just going to be landing crits all day long. Okay, last but certainly not least, I think I said that last time, but this is the truth this time. Anyway, traits. You're going to want to build traits, and I have these traits in accordance to my gear build here, guys. I'm going for a crit chance Greatsword build. Watch that video if you're a little confused on why I'm doing this. But anyway, coming back to traits. I have 10 in the strength. The power helps a good bit. The condition duration doesn't really affect us much because we're going for the crit damage build. The one you definitely want to grab here is Berserker's Power. And increases damage and how much adrenaline you have built. Now with this build, you're going to be maxing out your adrenaline all the time, and you're never going to be using your ultimate here. You're not going to be using this. The 20% critical chance is small in comparison to what this does for you and what this does for you. So don't even be using that. You got 30 in the arms here. The 300 precision is huge. The condition damage, once again, is not going to help us a lot. We do get bleeds every now and then, but it's not huge. But the precision is huge. We want that crit chance. For my first, because we're landing crits all the time, especially once you add the 12% here, the 20% here, and then the other 47% chance on my actual inventory, you know, the crit chance we're having is huge. So anything we get off a crit chance we want. Vulnerability on critical hits. 10% chance to gain swiftness on critical hits. Once again, you know, we're playing off those critical hits. Swiftness is huge, guys. I'm sure those of you familiar with it, it can really change a fight. I find myself constantly stealing kills with my swiftness on. And then once again, we're getting that quickness for 4 seconds whenever foes below 25% health. That's the whole reason I put the extra 10 in. It's just for this ability, picking people off there at the end. 10 to defense. A little bit of toughness and health, I think, makes a big difference in a fight. My choice for this one was Turtle's Defense. Every now and then we get stunned or crippled, and having that extra toughness can really save your life. Without the 10 here, you can take the 10 out of here and put it into Strength or Discipline if you want. I'd probably put it in Discipline, but you're going to find yourself dropping a little faster, and I like the trade-off. I got 20 in Discipline. Why? So a lot of people don't recognize why Discipline is so useful, and it's because of this little thing right here. Increases critical damage by 20%. Seeing that we're virtually critting about 60% of the time, you know, it ranges from about 50 to 75% depending on where we're at. So we'll just go ahead and say roughly 60% of the time. This extra 20% of damage is huge on critical hits. You got to figure, you run the numbers, that's at least a good 10 to 15% extra critical damage. That's going to be huge, guys. Or 10 to 15% extra damage overall is what I mean, not critical damage. Here we go. You definitely want heightened focus. This is also going to be increasing your critical chance. I already covered this with you, so we don't need to look at that any longer. And lastly, but certainly not least, Warrior Sprint. Run faster while wielding melee weapons. Now, you don't have to put this one on. I like it a lot. It helps me close gaps, also just for running around in general. It's very helpful. It can really make the difference in the World vs. World JP and just keeping up with the Zerg, whatever it is it may be. Alright, guys. I hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe. Shiny Baby 2 Gaming out. Thanks.